What's up? In this video we're going to talk about how to handle clients, especially as a videographer or photographer or any creative person that does something in the media design kind of field area, especially contract-wise. So the first rule is don't trust anyone. That sounds a little bit bitter, but hear me out. The first thing you should do when you agreed with someone on a project, when someone wants to hire you, is set up a contract that they sign. Now in this contract, you're not just going to put in the names and the project name, what you want to shoot, and the money. No, there actually are a few more things to consider putting in the contract. But more on that in a second. First, let's talk about which benefits you have from a contract. Now, of course, a contract is needed to document the different things you agreed on for a project. Having a contract doesn't necessarily mean you get paid, because that still isn't a thing. And from some bad experiences in the past, I personally only view a project or a deal as closed when I get the money in my bank account, not before that, because signing something doesn't mean anything. But it provides some written and documented facts that both parties agreed on, so that after the project is finished, neither one can say this or that is new and wasn't talked about, or something is missing, something like that. So a contract is not only good for you as the filmmaker, photographer, whatever, so that you get your money for the project. No, it's also a safety for the client, so that afterwards, if you, for example, agreed on shooting 2 videos and you just shot 1, then he can say, we agreed on and signed shooting 2 videos and not just 1. So it's basically a safety net for both parties, which is great. So everyone should agree on a contract, and if someone does not want to sign a contract, it's probably because they want to screw you over, because what else could it be? It's the only good thing. There's nothing bad about it. It doesn't cost anything. It's just good. So do it. Trust me, do it. Of course, again, someone can still try to screw you over or not do the things you agreed on in the contract. This, of course, gives you some legal ground and makes it easier to, for example, file a lawsuit. If you really want to do that, is of course depending on the project, if it's worth it. If it's just a couple $100, probably it's not worth the headache filing a lawsuit if someone's not willing to pay, because it's going to cost you more. And even if you get the money for the lawsuit back, probably wouldn't be worth the time or headache. Now let's talk about the specifics that you as a filmmaker or photographer should put in your contract. In my contract, of course, I have the basic thing. I have my name, address, the name and address of the client. Those were many bullet points. We have the project name, everything that is included from the shooting days sometimes, the editing, how many end results they will get, a date, of course, how long the offer is available, because my contract is it's an offer I send, and if they take the offer, then they can just sign it and it's a contract. Does it make sense? I'm going to show you some example footage right here. Of course, we have the price we agreed on. Then we have a contact person, so the name and email address of the person that is responsible for a project. This is of course important if you work B2B with bigger companies, so where the client isn't just one single person, but a company with many employees and one person is responsible for the project. Maybe the head of marketing, maybe the boss. It has to be someone, and this person is the contact person, which is in this contact person field. Then we have a project name, and right here, of course, my contract is in German because my company is based in Germany. We have Umsetzung and Fertigstellung, so when, in which time span are we going to shoot it, and when the project will be completed. Of course, I also tell them in the contract how they will receive the video. So most often I just upload it to some cloud service. They get a download link and can download the footage. Most often I use Swiss Transfer. It's like WeTransfer on steroids, because WeTransfer stores 2 GB for 1 week, and Swiss Transfer allows you to upload 50 GB and stores it for up to a month in the free version. So that's why I take it. Not sponsored, it's free. And sometimes if they want to get it physical, I just put it on a USB stick or a hard drive and send it to them, but that rarely is the occasion. But it's important to put it in the contract so that you not send them a download link and they're like, we can't download stuff because of our internal policy to not be allowed to click on links. So just put it in the contract. Just so that everyone is on the same page and knows what we agreed on. And now we come to the 4 very important things that I put in the contract as a filmmaker. First thing is that depending on the project, depending on how big it is, the client has 1 or 2 correction loops. So I edit the video, send it to them, and if they like it, they like it, which is very often the case, and we don't have to do any corrections at all. Or if they don't like it, which never really happened, because of course they look at my work before that, know if they like it, and then we agree on everything we want to shoot. But of course, what sometimes happens is that you film, for example, in office, and they say, please don't show this corner of the room because we think it's ugly. Or at minute 134, you showed this worker, please don't show him in the video because he doesn't work here anymore since last week. Stuff like that. This is what the correction loops are for, and I always write in the contract that for each correction loop, so 1 or 2, 1 working hour is included, and anything that has to be edited or changed after that that wasn't agreed on before that has to be charged with a normal hourly rate for shooting or editing That's it. This is very important to not go back and forth again with the client, because sometimes it happens, you send something to them, they say, please change this one thing, especially if you work with agencies that are communicating with another client and you have these 2 or 3 people working on the project. So you send it out, they say, please change this, only this one thing, you change this one thing, send it to them. Then someone else sees it and says, please change this thing as well. Then you have to go to your project again, change it, send it out, and then all of a sudden they find something else. To prevent this kind of back and forth and never-ending projects, put this with the correction loops in your contract. Next, talking about video specifics, I always put in my contract that I shoot in 4K footage, 3840 times 2160 pixels in 24 FPS, especially important because most people here in Germany shoot in 25 FPS, but I don't, because I'm a cool English wannabe guy, because cinematic is 24 and not 25. And it makes sense because you have more frames, so shut up, it's in my contract, I'm shooting in 24, deal with it. And I also say that it normally comes in a .mov or .mp4 file. Of course, sometimes you have to do other video specifics, and of course that's also possible. For example, if you're shooting something for TV, they need 24 frames per second or 50i, or they need just full HD, or sometimes if you're shooting something for a cinema, they can't use MP4, and then you have to do this weird container format. It's just important to put it in the contract as well, so that you not edit your whole video, send it out as an MP4, and then they say, we needed something else. We needed another frame rate or another resolution or this or that. Put it in the contract. The next thing is a bit controversial and kind of deserves a video on its own, which is sending out the raw material. Some people do it for free, some people charge the same as the project for it. Some people even charge twice the project amount to send out the raw material. Most clients don't even ask for it because they don't know what to do with it. They just want the final video and that's what they're paying for. But sometimes big companies, they just want it for internal things to archive it. And sometimes sneaky clients want it to, for example, edit a small video on their own and save some costs for you. So again, it's something you need to talk about beforehand. Most often, again, it's not that important. So when it comes up, you can talk about it, but you don't have to, but just put it in the contract so that you don't have to open up something that no one would talk about. But if they sign it, they sign it. And if they are a big company, they're probably reading the contract. And if they really want the raw footage, then they're gonna read it, that they don't get it. And then they're gonna talk about that with you before the shooting of the project. And then you can take it out of the contract, maybe charge for it, give it to them for free, charge twice the amount because they want the raw footage. It's just something that you can then use as leverage or talk beforehand, but not just send it out and have a mad client because they don't get the raw footage and they thought they would get it, so that everyone is happy and knows what they agreed on. Again, I'm repeating myself. And the last thing that I put in my contract, which again is especially useful and important for filmmakers, videographers, photographers, cinematographers, that's all the same thing, is that I can use all of the products, the videos and end results that were created from this project for portfolio and marketing, so that I can just, if I shoot a video, a nice image video or product video, that I can use it as a reference on my website, on my socials, to attract other clients, which is also really important. Put it in the contract just to be safe. Most people don't mind it because it's free advertising for them. But again, having it in the contract, you're on the safe side. You can use it for everything you like. And yeah, that's everything I put in my contract. That's everything that I have in it for now. Maybe I will add something in the future if I make some more life experiences with some other clients. But for now, that's what I'm rolling with. And it works pretty good for me now. Again, it's a process. Of course, I didn't have this contract from the beginning. At first, you don't work with contracts. You work with verbal agreements, which aren't good. You're gonna learn that very quickly. And then I had a small contract without all the fine prints, and now it turned into this. So maybe it helps you. I hope it helped you. If it did, please be sure to hit that like button and also consider subscribing right here for more filmmaking, business insights videos just like this one. Here are some more filmmaking and business related videos, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye.